Oh, fade black. So, are we ready for the epic fail at this point?
I think so. Actually, I
pick it up.
So Team Us is out on bail because you can, in Grand Theft Auto, you can commit multiple homicides and get out on bail minutes later.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so epic fail. I don't have to accept play cards on this one, do I?
No. This is the card you play.
That's the card play. Okay, so Juliet the nurse coming to confront Romeo about the baby. Okay, because Armo's got to do the right thing. At least that's what they think. That's when Tima shows up and he goes to meet Armo, and all four of them come together. The Popo over here is headed their way because he's heard there's going to be trouble, but he's not there. That's when Armo and Tima's embrace, and Jaylet sees that. So Jaylet takes out her gat and guns down Romeo and Tima, while the nurse watches in horror. And then what happens?
We move to the final scene. I'm not challenging it. You got the card.
Okay, whoa! You're supposed to add to that.
We will, because we do one last round.
Okay.
But the order of play is determined by how many victory points you have. Add up yours, I'll add up mine. So that's
if you're through this game, I'm going to have so much less respect for you. It won't be a lot less because you wrote Scotland the Brave.
15. I got 23.
I have 32 based on the strategy of the GM through the last two scenes.
Yes. Because the game designer should never win the game. It's bad form. Alright, so the way this works is the person with the fewest victory points goes first. There's no die rolling in the last scene. You just say what happens, and then the next player can go and add to that, or they can just rewrite what you just said. Say, no, that's not the way it happens. It really ends like this. And so, Titus is looking at he's dying on the street. Romeo's lying there dying on the street, and you know, Titus is really antisocial, and he may be confused, but he's really antisocial. And the last thing he can do is he gets both fingers up, one pointed at Romeo, one pointed at Juliet, and says, "Fuck you, bitches." And you can contradict that, or you can
I'm going to
build
add
from
to
there.
that.
Okay.
The nurse, who is totally appalled at all of this, totally appalled at Jaylet, watches these two men die, watches Jaylet there, totally remorseless over the murder she's done, pulls out her gat, guns down Juliet, then takes herself out just as the Popo arrives. And then the Popo arrests a group of black men who had nothing to do with anything. And they go to jail. Shade to black.
So in other words, it is sort of a simulation of...
Yeah, it is kind of a simulation. It's a simulation of L.A.
So rude.
Hey, prison's got to get paid, bitches.
God.
There's no one left to arrest. You got to arrest somebody for the crime.
That's right.
Somebody's got to go down for this. And neither of the families get the money for the movie of the week on that.
No. So anyway, that is Romeo Die. And having played Scotland the Brave almost 20 years ago, because it's a long time.
I did it about 10 or 12 years. 12 years. Maybe more like 12 years.
remember the last time I parted that thing out. I think I've made it around 96 is when I think I made those.
I probably played it closer to 2000.
Okay. But anyway, so playing
It could have been
Scotland the
99.
Brave.
Yes.
It's been a while.
Yes, haven't played Scotland.
So having played Scotland the Brave, which is a very much earlier version of the Matrix game, you can see that it's developed.
It is evolved
from there.
Yes.
The reasons it's gone that way is back then I'm very much influenced by war games, and I thought you needed a role for everything.
Yeah.
And what I determined over the years is that a lot of role-playing stuff, if you say to somebody, hey, what happens? And then you make up something, and then we roll and it doesn't happen, you feel really crappy. So I had to figure out ways for things to just happen, and you only roll when it's a conflict, when it's really a conflict, when it's critical.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it kills the energy of the game. And it's been pretty successful because Scotland the Brave is a game that took like 4 hours to play.
Yeah, but it was more complex. I mean, I mean politically.
There's a political thing going on. There's battles and all like that. But this, because it cuts out a lot of that, we've played this game in. Let's see here.
You could check the bottom of the screen to see.
I could, but it's like 50 minutes.
50 minutes.
So that is what a role-play game probably couldn't accomplish in 4 hours.
Yeah.
So it goes faster, but I have other versions of it where I use miniatures, and you're using the action cards, and we have the scene cards, so it guides you through a story. But then I have this other deck of cards that are combat cards, and it's a very quick kind of like war combat, rock, paper, scissors thing, and you play. So you can do fights, because the one thing Matrix games have always been bad at is fighting. Because it's I kill you.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Well, I don't. In a few Matrix games I played before this one, I actually had to get into a fight. The first that Scotland the Brave, I played the Archbishop of Canterbury. Mm-hmm. And I shocked you because you looked at me and said, "You're the first successful Archbishop of Canterbury I've ever had in this game."
Well, people who pick the church frequently don't realize how powerful the church can be.
Oh, I hooked up with the really evil prince.
What,
first thing he says to me is, "I want to be king," and it turns out that my father's been practicing witchcraft and he should be excommunicated. I'm like, well, what is there any evidence of? I give testimony. I'm like, hallelujah! Obviously, you are a credible witness. And then from there, the king left, and then once I did that, suddenly other people were like, "Wow, you excommunicated, things bad happened." So I said, "Pay me, or you get excommunicated." They paid me, and you were like, yes! Why are you paying? No, but you weren't hearing these conversations, so when you said, what are your actions? I say, this person pays me, and they said, yes. You were like, really? Okay. This person pays me.
You've read your medieval history. That's basically what the Pope did.
Yeah. The problem is if you excommunicate something, then suddenly I have nothing left to do to you.
Oh, no. You can, if you are excommunicated, you can then tell his vassals you no longer owe him any loyalty.
Well, yeah, but it's like a 50-50 roll for that. If he says no, that doesn't happen, then,
Oh, okay.
And I want you to realize, I might have been making the same die rolling I made today, 50-50, just won't cut it.
True, that's true.
So,
well,
if you threaten to take something away from somebody, it's better than taking it away, because they got nothing to lose.
I've recently been reading a lot of medieval German history, and of course it's all about Italy.
Yeah.
and I was reading about Frederick II, and why the Pope wasn't as successful at messing with Frederick II is that his army was made up of Saracens.
Oh, yeah.
And amazingly, the Muslims living in southern Italy didn't care what the Pope said.
Yeah. And Frederick II, as I recall, was well liked, and because as I recall, he went on a crusade and didn't actually kill many people.
No, he was the one who went on the crusade and was able to negotiate one Islamic ruler to another.
Yeah.
Let us send the Christian people to Jerusalem, and they said, "Oh, sure."
Yeah, and then
because you're one of the team.
Yeah, didn't he trade openly with them? Made a lot of money. Wasn't he also very big on things like harems and culture?
Yeah, he probably, growing up in Sicily, he probably did speak Arabic. Great German emperor.
Yeah.
Seldom went to Germany.
Most German emperors didn't even want to be the German emperor.
That's why it's
like
all
Otto the
about
First.
Italy.
The first German king didn't even want to be king of Germany. He didn't show up for his own coronation.
Yeah, it wasn't that important.
No. He went falconing. I believe that was Otto the First, I think.
No, it was his father, Henry the Fowler.
Henry the Fowler?
Who was fowling. It's just, you read this stuff and you realize why Italy and Germany became the basket cases they were after the Middle Ages. It's just their whole history. They would have been so much better off if they hadn't had the Pope.
That could be said for a lot of things.
Yeah. And I'm not wanting to be anti-religious here. It's just that the Pope as a political figure was, oh my God, powerful and messed with things.
Yeah, they were mostly dicks. Except for the new guy. Suddenly the new guy is like, why didn't we have guys like this before?
Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was the game, and I hope you had a good time.
I did. Thank you, Chris. Pleasure once again.
Good. I'll turn this off.
And that was Die, Romeo Die. Plus commentary.